Oh, hey, good morning to you. How you doing? I was driving home about 2 days ago, I guess it was, and a song came on the radio, and it was sung by one of the Beatles, by John Lennon, and I love the Beatles. If you know me, I'm all about watching Paul McCartney in concert, and if John Lennon was around, I'd definitely be watching him as well. But the song "Imagine" came on the radio, and I had a reaction that I really have never had before, and I kind of just wanted to share that with you, just to see maybe what your thoughts are on the whole thing. And the song, when I was listening to it, and I'm gonna put my glasses on so I can see the lyrics here. It says, "Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no heaven." When I heard it this time, I was like, wow, I don't know if I even want to go there. Imagine there's no heaven. Because see, for me, if I imagine that there's no heaven, I have to then go, I imagine that there is no God, and then I have to imagine that there is no Jesus either. I understand the sentiment of the song. He wants to say that we have things like faith and religion that do set us apart, or they break us up. Not set us apart, but they break us up because we fight and we argue. He goes on to say things about if there's no countries, there's no possessions, and if we just all live in peace and harmony. And that's what he's kind of getting at with this whole song. But on that day, I actually turned the song off in my car, and it freaked me out because I've never turned a song like that off before from one of the Beatle guys because I just really really like the messages, and I like all the things they sing in these songs. But that just caught me off guard, and I think possibly it had to do with I've done two funerals here in the last couple of weeks, both of very young men. Um, and when I was speaking to the people there at both these funerals, that was a huge hope and comfort that I talked to them about, was that there is a heaven, that there is a God, that there is a Jesus. And that's what gets us through our extremely difficult times of life. Life doesn't become, just a big fairy tale once we accept Christ and God into our lives. What it does, at least for me, is it allows me and it gives me strength to get through these amazingly difficult times that we're all going to go through. And I couldn't imagine doing that without God, without Christ, without this knowledge that there is a heaven, this place that we're going to see each other again. You know, it's just an amazing gift that God has given to all of us, and just over the top. It's just I just love that, because when I go to a funeral or if I officiate at a funeral and this person is a believer and they know God and Jesus, I have a pretty good idea that this person's not really gone forever. We're going to see him again. What I kind of turned to was another Imagine song, and this song really gets to me as well, and it's by Mercy Me, and it's called "I Can Only Imagine," and it says, "I can only imagine what it will be like when I walk by your side. I can only imagine what my eyes will see when your face is before me. I can only imagine." And the chorus goes, "Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus, or in awe of you be still? Will I stand in your presence, or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak at all? I can only imagine." They're both imaginings with John Lennon and with Mercy Me here. But with this Mercy Me, it's talking all about God. What's going to happen when I do come face to face with my Maker? Will I fall to my knees? Will I just stand there in awe? Will I sing hallelujah? What's going to happen? And that's the imagine that we talk about. And we've sung that at a funeral or two as well. I can only imagine. And, it just gives me goosebumps sitting here thinking about it right now. I can only imagine. Wow. I mean, what an amazing gift, again, that God has given to us. And just everything that God has given to us is truly a gift. He gave us his Son. He gave us his Spirit to help guide us through our lives here on planet Earth. He's given us each other to lean upon, to cry upon, to yell at, and to laugh with, and just to be silly and goofy with. I like to watch a lot of movies, and one movie, it came from a Carl Sagan book called Contact, and it's the premise is that we make initial contact through these radio signals that are picked up, and the story goes on. Well, the book's different than the movie, but in the movie, the main character, Ellie Arroway, kind of hooks up with Palmer Joss, who's a pastor, and they're talking one evening about faith. And he says, I have a good intellect, but what God did in my life, it just blew me away. I couldn't get it. And I knew it was God. And Ellie basically says, well, what makes you think it was God? Could it not have been just that you experienced something that you had to experience to get you through that period of time? And Neil Palmer's like, no, it really wasn't. And she's basically saying, what if there is no God? And Palmer just basically says, I can't imagine a world or living in a world without God. And I'm not sure I would want to. And that's hugely powerful theology. I mean, life is tough enough with God and with Jesus at our side, right? It's tough. Got to deal with a lot of things. And I'm not sure I would want to go through all these things totally on my own, without God, without Christ, without that Spirit that Christ sent to us, helping us through every single day and all these trials and temptations that we're going to face in our lives. I just can't imagine what life would be without God. That's kind of what I had to say here this morning. It's kind of short and quick, but I still like John Lennon. I still like the song Imagine, because I think it speaks of we all need to be getting along. Mercy Me, their song talking about, I can only imagine what heaven's going to be like, and this glorious God who accepts us all, who wants us all. And I really think they are connected. But I think we need to start living as Christians, as followers of Jesus. We need to stop. This is my soapbox. We need to stop judging each other, and we need to start simply loving each other. Jesus loved the least of us. Can we do no less? I can only imagine what the world will be like when we start living like Jesus wants us to. All right, I'm out. I got to make me some more coffee. Take care and have a great day, all right?